Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome back to the channel. Also, welcome to Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument here in southern Utah. So I'm actually hiking up to a spot called the Waheap Hoodoos here in southern Utah, here in Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument. Gonna go up and do some sunset photography and then also talk a little about blue hour landscape photography. So yeah, let's go. Here we are, the Waheap Hoodoos here behind me. They're pretty spectacular looking. I've been kind of walking around exploring the area for the past hour, looking for composition opportunities, taking photos once sunset blue hour rolls around. I really do think this is going to be a cool spot to shoot for blue hour. First off, I think this white sandstone here is made out of this very fine, like white, almost like beach feeling sand. And that's why it's so white. It almost looks like it's like melting. It looks like it's eroding, probably at a very fast rate. And kind of reminds me, I photographed a spot for blue hour called White Pocket about 2 weeks ago, Vermilion Cliffs National Monument, and that was all very white sandstone. And it just illuminated really very nicely in the blue hour light, and I feel like I'm going to get the similar effect, hopefully, with this white sandstone here. I think in blue hour light, I think it's going to illuminate very nicely. And since we're doing and talking about some blue hour photography here today, I thought I'd leave you guys with just a few tips I have on, at least some of my tips I could think of for blue hour photography. Obviously, the first thing, you do have to find a location to photograph that you think will suit that light well. It's a location you would like to shoot for blue hour. That generally involves you driving, hiking, or doing both of those things to get to the location. This location, for example, I had to drive about 30 minutes from my house to the trailhead, and then I'd hike about 4 to 4.5 miles to get out to this location. Of course, keeping in mind that, I will have to hike back to the car in the dark because I'll be staying here until blue hour, which generally runs like 15 to 45 minutes after sunset or before sunrise generally, I feel like, depending on the time of year. Secondly, I would say just keep in mind you're going to have to adjust your camera settings, of course. I do always shoot in full manual mode. Some people prefer to shoot in full manual. Some people prefer to shoot more in aperture priority. I generally just shoot in full manual because I just like to have full control over my camera's settings. But of course, compared to shooting to daylight or even shooting sunset, sunrise, slow your shutter speeds down. A lot of times when I'm shooting blue hour, I might shoot a 20th, 30th, 15th of a second, or sometimes slower with my camera. Luckily, these Lumix cameras that I use, I do my photography with my Lumix G9. It has really amazing IBIS, built-in image stabilization, so I can do really slow shutter speeds handheld, which I personally love to do with my photography. I like to shoot handheld most of the time. Open the aperture up, let more light in for shooting in lower light conditions like blue hour. The third thing, not really a tip or anything, I'm just like to point out I love shooting blue hour recently is because I love the really soft blues and purples a lot of time that blue hour offers for the lighting conditions, and it just gives a nice feel to your images, especially a scene like this with this really bright white sandstone. I think it's just gonna glow and illuminate very nicely in the blue hour light. So I love those light, soft purples, blues. you get with the lighting that comes along with shooting blue hour. Oh, and another tip or thought to keep in mind when you're coming out to shoot blue hour, or really any other time of the day, just try and get to your location a couple hours before you plan on shooting. It gives you plenty of time to explore the location that you're planning on shooting, scouting out locations, looking for compositions, deciding what's going to work for you. So that's kind of what I've been doing for the past hour and a half, 2 hours now, and just really is just exploring around, looking at different spots, different angles, different compositions, of seeing what I think is going to work best for me to shoot. I think I have found a few compositions and areas that I'm happy with for trying to shoot. I generally walk around and take a few test shots and test some compositions out when the light is still, not ideal. And then, at that point, like right now, it's just a waiting game. Now I'm just waiting for the sun to drop a bit. And we got about 40 minutes till sunset. Starting to get into the golden hour here. Unfortunately, there aren't any clouds in the sky this evening, so completely clear blue skies, which isn't ideal, but it'll still be all right. So I just kind of finished up my sunset photo shoot here. Obviously, there were no clouds in the sky, so sunset, we didn't really get any color or anything, which is all right. Kind of worked out on some decent compositions. Now we're kind of rolling the blue hour, and I kind of want to shoot a bit over the next 20 to 30 minutes during blue hour. I just realized something that I feel like is going to affect the images of this location shooting blue hour after sunset, is that the sun sets back there, so it's kind of like we're backlit. This whole scene is going to be a bit backlit here. So I feel like if you want to shoot blue hour here, you want to do it for sunrise would probably be better before sunrise and after sunset, because I think before sunrise this would get illuminated before the sun rose, because the sun would be rising behind me back here. But for sunset, it's setting back here, which means that these hoodoos here are backlit, and I don't think they're not going to get illuminated by the sun before or after the sun sets. It'd be more of like before the sun rises, it would get illuminated by sunlight, and it would probably be really nice. So I may have made a bit of an error there. One more tip for shooting blue hour, which I didn't think I was going to put in this video, because I just realized it just now. Kind of keep your sunset, sunrise positions of the sun and your subjects in mind when deciding to shoot blue hour. Anyway, lesson learned there. That's why you come out and shoot and try out different locations and see how they work in each lighting situation. Lesson learned. Well, maybe we'll still get some decent photos today, though. That light from blue hour today turned out a bit better than I actually expected it to. We got some nice glow on these white sandstone hoodoos here to photograph, and shot all those images on my Lumix G9 with the 8 to 18mm Lumix Leica lens. Shooting a lot of those at as low as like an 1/8 of a second, 1/10 of a second, 15th of a second as it was getting darker, but the G9 has absolutely amazing IBIS built-in image stabilization, so I'm able to go down really slow shutter speeds handheld. I hope you guys did enjoy this video shooting the Waheap Hoodoos here in Grand Staircase Escalante National Monument in southern Utah. Hoping that some of those tips about shooting blue hours may be helpful for some of you guys out there. Don't sleep on blue hour. If you're going to come out for sunset or sunrise, stick around for blue hour, because it's definitely worth it. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next video.